Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second case of the Golden Ticket. We're here with Thrythlind and I, of
Hi.
course, am Brenwyn Weir. Our story then begins on what has become a regular school day. Riley is it's the end of the day, it's the final period. It's the time when most of the students are winding down and not really paying attention, and the teacher has to, basically try and do something interesting to work down the clock. It's an English class. Riley is being taught by Mr. Emil Northrop.
Okay. What is the exercise?
You're doing. Riley is in the same class as me, and you're doing a literary analysis of Frankenstein.
Oh, I think Random would know how to read because words happen on movies.
Hmm.
Oh,
That too, but having lived with Elaine and June as though they were not the same person, I would also like to imagine that she's learned some sign language.
that might be, yeah. The thing is, a lot of her communicative issues happened before language. Um, so it'd still be kind of the same disjointed responses in the sign language. But
That's okay because you can just Chewbacca it as long as you understand.
yes.
So, Mr. Northrop looks looks around the class, checks the time, sees that there's 5-10 minutes left, and says, "All right, let's see. Let's pick someone here. Miss Dawson."
Misha's Dawson, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah.
We can make Misha Dawson. But he is saying Miss Dorsey.
Oh, sorry, you got cut off a little bit. Um,
He be speaking to Riley.
Riley's still looking at the book and kind of going along because I guess she paused. It takes her a second to realize talking to her and looks up, going, "Yes, yes." Talk to Ed to the
Nice.
side.
Nice for you to finally pay attention, Miss Dorsey. Could you please tell me whether or not you think Frankenstein's monster is a sympathetic character?
Frankenstein monster cares.
Why do you say that? He acts with particularly near the end of the story, he acts with blatant disregard for people's lives.
Because anger. All hunted. All hunted.
So,
Sorry.
So you find that anger understandable considering his persecution?
Yeah, moving her head around, kind of a little bit as she's obviously thinking and moving her head, that kind of off kilter beat to her emotions. Like, yes,
He opens his mouth to say, as if he means to say something else, when the bell Misha sighs in relief as she slams the books shut and starts packing up along with everyone else. Mr. Northrop raises his voice over the hubbub and says, "All right, everybody, have a nice night. Remember to do your homework. Remember the assignment's due next week. Don't leave it till the last minute. I'll know."
Would Riley know that the puppet sister is actually a puppet and part of Elaine?
I mean, Riley would have been living in the house when Elaine built it.
That makes sense.
It's up to you if she's had enough exposure to make that connection.
Probably. She's seen Puppet Master. So yeah. That thing, be sure to do the homework, don't leave it at the last minute. Yeah, Riley's going to look briefly towards Elaine and then kind of shift the eye away.
Let's see.
And try to keep up with Misha. Misha does not look happy.
No, Misha does not look happy. On her way past, Mr. Northrop says, "Oh, and Riley, Mr. Murray wanted to see you in his office this afternoon before you leave."
Yes? Okay.
So the three of you make your way out into the halls. There's people moving from, getting into their cliques, making their way slowly outside, or in some cases running full pelt outside, but probably earning the ire of some of the hall monitors. The hallways, like a lot of these institutions, often have banks of lockers which crowd the already slightly too small spaces for people moving. And as you make your way towards Laurie's office, you come across a couple of guys, 3 of them to be precise. One of them is leaning against a locker, using his height to tower over Lucy, who is hugging her books and shaking her head at whatever this guy is saying. These 3 guys are quite large. They're wearing some some of them are wearing overalls, the others are wearing t-shirts and work pants, and you can see grease stains, like they've been working in auto shop probably.
There might very well be a slightly low, barely audible growl starting to develop in Riley's throat that likely Misha and Elaine can hear, or June can hear.
Misha looks to Riley and says, "Do you think you can cover?"
Cover?
"Yeah, I mean, I can probably take one of them these days," she says, cracking her knuckles.
June places her hands on Riley and Misha's shoulders. A quelling motion. She's going to gesture for Riley to go ahead and make the sign for Laura.
Okay.
She's going to step into the middle of the 3 guys, make an enthusiastic greeting sign to Lucy, give her a hug and a peck on the cheek, and lead her out of the group.
What do we think? Is this take a risk, face danger, convince? It sounds like taking a risk to me.
It doesn't look like
It's probably either take a risk or convince.
I'm gonna make it. Sorry.
I'm going with what Anne said. Yeah, it's not face danger until things go. I mean, Lucy's facing danger right now, but we're not.
This is true. I'm going to call it a convince. Since you are acting and you are trying to get them to act in a certain.
I would like to say reckless abandon, porcelain perfect beauty.
Both very useful in this circumstance.
Reading body language.
Yep.
Maybe also self-doubt and the monster must be unfeeling or unknowable. Self-doubt and the monster must be unknowable. I kind of portmanteaued two tags.
If you had to tag self-doubt, I was going to suggest it. So.
Yeah. I'm tempted to tag distant and unfeeling as well, but the monster must be unknowable. Yeah. You are attempting to bamboozle them.
Okay, so that's 2 weakness tags and 3 power tags. Oh, we are on.
Yep.
Sorry, was it convince or risk?
It was a convince. Holy
yes! Great success.
Okay, what is your stick?
I mean, obviously, if they do something, anything at all to stop us, they've got something against lesbians getting, displaying affection publicly, and that just makes them gay as hell.
Also, it would probably involve intimidating and possibly beating up a disabled.
I don't think these guys are clever enough to make that assumption.
Right.
But I do think that they are insecure enough in their manly ways.
I agree. So, the guys look at each other. Misha's probably chuckling under, like she's got her hand over her mouth and she's chuckling and snorting as she follows Riley towards Laurie's office. The guys look at each other like they don't know what to do before one of them chuckles, slaps the other guy on the back and says, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's obviously not into it, dude. Just, let's go chill." There is another thing I would like to do. I am going to ping romantic entanglement.
I did not think this through at all. I mean, that is my MO, but in my defense, shit.
Let's see here. Roles, MC principles. Sorry, I'm looking for the hard move so I can remind myself what I can do here. Complicate things big time. I think I can complicate things big time, put a long-lasting story tag on them.
Oh dear. Oh wow.
Yes, so the story tag that I've put on the board is Lucy/Jude.
Well, the alternative was random trying to do something, and that might have gone overboard real quick.
Yeah, that might have been a combat encounter. Though.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Riley arrives at Laurie's office. The shared office staff that's sort of out in the foyer area asks her to take a seat just because Laurie is currently seeing another student. However, being this close to the door, you can hear Laurie talking and the person inside talking back because voices are getting raised. Laurie's exasperated as he said, so seriously, you really don't remember any of this. You don't remember these people. You went to class with some of these. You can hear Pete go, sir, I really don't know what you're talking about, sir. Like, these people, I don't know these people. Like, can please leave me alone. I want to go. It continues in that vein with Pete sounding more and more desperate. That's when Riley notices that the principal coin notices the raised. As he walks over, is Riley going to do anything at the...
Yeah, Riley's going to stand up and say, "Hello," and stare in that really unblinking, nerve-wracking way that somebody who's more than moderately feral, can do.
Principal Coin, who looks... he looks like he could play Gandalf in another life. He looks down his nose at Riley and pauses and coughs and says, yes, Miss Dorsey, thank you. It's good to see you too. Please take a seat. I need to see Mr. Murray. Urgently, it seems. Are you going to sit down?
Mr. Murray is supposed to see me after Pete.
Okay, refusing is taking a risk.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Pretend to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy filter between thought and expression. And inured to the horrible. Because what the kind of threat he's used to giving is probably nothing that she considers dangerous.
Most likely. I am going to tag disjointed responses.
Yeah, that feels right. Anybody else before I roll? I'm going to take that as a no.
Take the risk. On a 10 plus, you somehow perform your daring feat without any glitches, flaws, or complications.
Her intention was to give warning to Lori ahead of time.
Yeah. So do you talk louder than usual and perhaps... oh, yeah, and perhaps cough or something to...
Yep. Maybe clatter the chair, getting up at it. Yeah. Make the principal raise his voice to, in order to get her to get over my talking.
He sighs and says, he does raise his voice slightly, though he maintains complete control. And says, yes, Miss Riley, please take a seat. And he doesn't get to finish what he says because, with ample warning, Laurie opens the door. says, yes, I'm sorry about that, Pete. I'm sorry. I seem to have gotten a little overzealous. Pardon. Laurie looks like hell, by the way. He probably combed his hair this morning, but he's been running his fingers through it and it's now a mess. He is wearing sunglasses indoors and looks really pale and haggard. Pete says, oh, no, that's okay, Mr. Murray. I think we're all under a bit of stress at the moment. Mr. Coyne, he says as he scurries off. Laurie looks over at Principal Coyne as if he's surprised to see him and says, oh, sir, sorry, did you need to see me? I was just about to have a chat with Miss Dorsey here. Principal Coyne looks after Pete and says, I just would like a quick word, if you don't mind, Mr. Look, I realize you seem to be under a bit of strain lately. If you need to take some sick leave, Laurie winces at that and says, no, sir, really, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm just not sleeping too well lately. I'm sure I'll get my sleeping patterns back under control. And Principal Coyne leans in and whispers, just please tell me you're not drinking, alright? Principal Coyne nods and says, alright, but I'll be keeping an eye on you, and maybe the counselor needs a counselor, eh? Laurie nods, makes some platitude, ushers Riley into the room, closes the door and says, sighs and says, oh boy, rubs his forehead. I feel terrible.
You smell.
I smell? I had a shower this morning.
Not dirty. You smell. Smell changed.
His face falls a little and he says, oh, right. If you don't mind me asking, what do I smell like to you?
Does he smell like Veronica or at all, or is it slightly different?
It would be similar.
Okay. You smell... sort of next to the vampire?
He winces at that and rubs his temples as he sits down. Yeah, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I keep dreaming about that night, at least when I can sleep. I can't sleep at night. I've been taking cat naps before and after work. Well, I'm sorry, you don't need to hear my problems. How are you doing? How's school?
No one's dead.
Well, that's a good start. Speaking of which, mind if something's come to my attention?
I'm assuming Misha's waiting outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He walks over to his desk and opens up a manila folder and lays out some pictures and lists and things. I made a list of everyone who I know was there at the park ranger station. Everyone who hasn't come back to school. I pulled their record. Some of them just don't have records anymore. A lot of them have been altered. Um,
Here's a question.
hmm?
Did Riley or Random know the names of any of the paramilitary types that got ruled and got sent after her?
No, they had nothing to do with Random's captivity, as I recall.
Okay.
Or did they?
You mentioned they were trying to recover Random, but that doesn't mean
I
that
did. That's right. So they were from the place where she was being.
that doesn't mean she ever had contact with them. But I was just wondering if she did.
She could have. If you wanted to do an investigate roll to see if you have any clues from that, possible.
I think I will, and I can only see two things that really help on that, and that's raised in a lab cage and heightened situational awareness.
Yep.
And I'm going to suggest a weakness of confinement is bad because that would have limited what she could get to.
This is true.
Okay. Okay. Investigate. Well, one question, which you get to choose one of those for.
I'm going to say the clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false.
Well then, does she have? I'm going to assume may have already given these names over, but did she have any names for any of the soldiers that came to get her to supply to investigative purposes?
I'm going to say she thinks she knows one.
Oh, what's that name?
Rhodey Atterbury.
Rhodey Atterbury? Lori was doing the investigations.
Yes. And so I noticed that all of these people have simply vanished. People don't remember them. Pete doesn't remember them. I don't think Lucy remembers them either, although I haven't talked to her very. That's what I was just talking to Pete about just now, and I'm afraid I got a little overzealous. I'm sorry about that. Apologize to him again later. But the thing is, these people have simply vanished. Whereas these people, and he moves over to another folder, these people are simply missing. People are missing them and don't know where they are. And some of them are students at this school. So I figure that if we can't work out who altered these records, we could work out what the difference between the people who were at the park ranger station and these people who people remember, what the difference between these two groups is.
Okay. Ask questions.
Indeed. He takes out a picture and says, it's a school photo of a simple looking girl, plain hair, black hair, possibly Asian heritage. And he says, this is Sharon Grant. I remember her. People around here remember her. She is currently missing. Her parents have reported her disappearance to the police. She came to this school. Is whatever's happened to her, and something's happened to her. She hasn't been to school for 2 weeks. If we find out what's happened to her, maybe we'll be a bit closer to some kind of answer to the rest of these.
Okay.
I mean, I'll have to run it past Elaine, and I can't exactly pay Elaine's fees or anything like that, but I was going to talk to her about that when she picks you up.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, was that that's before or after we came back?
Before, just.
That the vampire was in the plane and returning. So something different?
That's my guess, yeah. Unless Veronica can travel through time.
Time is hard.
Laurie blinks several times at that. Okay, any other initial thoughts?
A prologue off screen. No, we are off screen for prologue. Movies can start when character's not on screen. Where did she vanish?
Police think she ran away from home. The open window, she packed a few things. Just went out onto the street one night. Parents are completely clueless, said she was happy, no particular problems at school, her grades are excellent. Very smart girl. That's why this one popped out at me. It's not normal for a runaway.
Okay. There are probably a good 10 or 20 or so movies right now going through Random's mind with the teenager lured out to go meet somebody. Okay. I'll talk to Elaine. June's outside. I don't know if Misha followed.
Okay. So Laurie opens the door and raises his voice a bit and says, well, that will be all for today, Miss Dorsey. Thank you very much for coming. Hi, June. Misha. Oh, hi, Lucy. Lucy just sort of blushes and waves, steps slightly closer to June.
June absently pats Lucy on the shoulder and waves to Laurie. Is Laurie aware that June is another puppet?
Did Elaine or June make him aware? Because otherwise, no.
Beyond the fact that June looks exactly like Elaine minus X number of years, there was no tell, like, including the massive scarring on the throat, which is the explanation for being mute. There was no there was no clarifying things. So if Laurie's not good at putting things together, then maybe
Laurie has been very busy.
that's your excuse and you're sticking to it.
A little bit. He might start putting things together now that he's getting a good look at June. In fact, he comes out, looks at June after saying hi, and he pauses visibly for several moments.
June is going to sign hi, what's up, and then a moderately slanderous term that she's decided is the sign for Laurie. In fact, there we go. We're going to sign hi, sup, damsel.
Which
Laurie sighs and hands June the manila fold. I would like to talk to your mother about this at some point. I've been looking into some things, and I know I can't pay your fees or anything, I can't pay your mother's fees or anything. But if she could give this case a once over, or anything she could add would be good. I'm going to look into it.
Oh yeah. June's enjoying this. I think it's time to cartoonishly overact a salute,
Sounds good.
and then start reading the case notes.
Random's just going to sit somewhere and wait, because she can't really do what she wants to do here, and she's supposed to wait to go home before doing things. So, since she's round, probably there's some electrical flickering going on, since she is in the room and she is her. But not enough to really trigger darkness and sparks.
Laurie starts rubbing his temples. Looks like he's starting to get a headache. And all right, look, I've got to get some sleep. I'll come talk to Elaine tonight when I'm feeling a bit more up to it. Okay. Well, good luck, girls.
Maybe butcher. Pig's blood sometimes works. Some movies.
Thanks, Riley. I'll see. The secretary is staring at Laurie in ask. He looks at her and shrugs before walking back into his office.
Go on.
So I think I'm going to tag Nocturnal as a weakness to make a hard move against Laurie at this.
Okay.
If I may flavor the scene slightly.
Flavor away, sweetie.
I think June is going to begin a long string of signs to the secretary, which are going to start out a brief excuse for what's up with Laurie and Riley, and then sliding into a long derisive taunt about you don't understand a thing I'm saying. I don't know why I bother when it becomes apparent she does.
Take a risk, sweetie.
Only if it becomes apparent she doesn't. That was meant to be flavor to the scene.
I understand, but this is No, it's not going to hurt you.
I
It's going to
know.
hurt Laurie.
Yeah, I know. This is rather golden.
Um, reckless abandon sounds good,
Yep.
and maybe beauty and body language. Given that I'm attempting to figure out that she, I'll continue making a serious explanation if I can tell that she's understanding me.
I don't think porcelain beauty applies.
No, I doubt Porcelain Perfect Beauty applies. I will tag people who refuse to sign.
Oh dear.
Remember to mark the attention.
All right, let's take a risk.
Indeed. So double MC move for.
I only meant to give flavor. I'm sorry, Laurie. This is going to be a social attack so good your nose will fall.
Just a bit. Alright. I would say it's giver status. So I'm going to say it's a status 3. Status 3 of bad rep.
In my defense, I didn't mean to get you fired, and you can have a discount on this case, okay?
Puggles. Oh dear. Alright, with that, I think. Should I still tag Nocturnal and get the attention for Undead Taint?
I think so.
Do it. Make
Okay.
everything worse.
I am also going to crack school counselor by 1.
Very, very appropriate.
Yeah. Alright, I can't help but notice that we have been going for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, we have actually. Whoa. Sorry, guys. That'll be an interesting long session, which will probably get
Indeed.
edited down to about an hour, 20 minutes.
Hmm.
I will go ahead and cut off the recording here, and we'll take a break and come back.
Okie, catch you soon.
She's going to step into the middle of the three guys, make an enthusiastic greeting sign to Lucy, give her a hug and a peck on the cheek, and lead her out of the group.
I would applause, but I can't do that and hold the control key.
Indeed.
I can do it. I can do it for the audience at home.
Let's see. Is this so? The stick is a status 2. I'm totally gay now.
Oh dear. Wouldn't it be impressed by two lesbians kissing in public?
Oh dear.
I mean, we do it
Alright.
all the time. It's fine.
I am going to ping romantic entanglement.
I did not think this through at all. I mean, that is my MO, but in my defense, shit.
I'm sorry, we may be falling over laughing at the moment.
I'm along with you, sort of. I mean, I'm being quiet about it because microphone that I can't shut off. But
Indeed. Let's see here. I think I can complicate things big time. Put a long-lasting story tag on.
oh dear. Oh wow.
Yes. So the story tag that I've put on the board is Lucy/Jude.
The ideal portmanteau ship name for this is Juicy.
Oh dear goodness gracious, what have we wrought? We sought to play gods.
Yes, I'm going to replace that story tag with juicy.
Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh dear.
Behold the horrors I have wrought, ye mighty in despair.
Oh dear. The shared office staff that's sort of out in the foyer area asked her to take a seat just because Laurie is currently seeing another student.
Wait, where's his story tag?
Oh dear.
Mr. Murray is supposed to see me after Pete.
Okay, refusing is taking a risk.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. It's even written in the danger.
Oh dear, dear, dear.
So,
Oh, there's more dangers off to the right. Okay.
yep.
Okay. Anybody else before I roll? I'm going to take that as a no and click the face danger.
This is taking a risk.
Oh, taking risk. Well, I'll re-roll.
If you'd like, I can use that result and look up taking a risk myself, since I was smart and actually looked this up.
I apologize. For some reason, I went to face dangers to take a risk. Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Thank
Claw
you for not
moves.
thank you for not punishing me for being stupid. Okay.
Hey, we've all been stupid. Principal Coin leans in and whispers, just please tell me you're not drinking, alright? Laurie smirks and looks almost relieved at that and says, no, sir, I promise you I'm not a drop.
I apologize. I may have broken something.
Ding ding ding, Thryth wins.
Indeed. For those who can't read the screen, it says not wine.
I do not drink. Why?
Okay.
You know what also could apply?
What's that?
Doors to the garden.
Possibly. I mean, if because they kept her in a place that she couldn't reach out of extra dimensionally, so she could only put her doors in
All
those
right,
room
so that
doors.
so that wouldn't count.
Yeah. She escaped. The way she escaped is she developed a fifth door that they didn't know about. So when they went in to collect her when she was hiding in the garden, they opened the door and she just.
Cool.
But yeah, otherwise it doesn't make sense how you could contain her.
I'm going to say she thinks she knows one.
Oh, what's that name?
And I have to go to behind the name. Brody Atterbury.
Brody Atterbury?
Atterbury. It's like Attaboy, only it's a berry.
Oh, I'll let you put it down.
Oh, oops, sorry. There we go. I just put it there.
It's okay. I removed the one that I put down. I'm sorry about that. Apologize to him again later. But the thing is, these people have simply vanished. Whereas these people, and he moves over to another folder, these people are simply missing. People are missing them.
I'm going to say right here, Random has been exposed to far more horror movies than I have, so
Oh, I'm sure those absolutely will.
yeah.
Question.
Answer.
The attention that happened a while back for the self-doubt weakness, can I take the evolution for that in the between time?
Yes. Yes.
Because I'll be taking the one that makes take a risk dynamite, which is why it's relevant.
Cool.
Ah, okay. You've got three. Wow.
Got 3. What? No, the ones that are active are tagged. The ones that are just written in, I've got the ones that are ticked.
Oh,
The ones that are just written in are ones I want to remember for later without having to look at the book.
got it. Okay. That's a good idea. I should think about doing that.
That's what the cards were designed like that for.
Right.
So double MC move for.
I only meant to give flavor. I'm sorry, Laurie. This is going to be a social attack so good your nose will fall.
Just a bit. Just
You
a
have
bit.
to live in a tower wearing an iron mask until the King of France gives up on hiding.
Oh god! Wow.
That's some classical reaching for a metaphor. I'm impressed.